because you know that person's already going to come in and be like, why is that change happening, or what's going to happen to this process, or whatever the questions may be. It'll be a great way for you to kind of practice and overcome that. Hello everyone, and welcome to the LeadHer Lounge. I'm Taylor Miller-Goulet.
And I'm Erica Rivera, and this is the space where modern leaders come for fresh and practical takes on leadership. Welcome! Today we're going to talk about a topic that is inevitable for every leader, and that is change. So change in management. And that can be the team is working remotely and suddenly they had to go back to office. Now we're using AI. So that's going to change a lot of processes in your team. Whether maybe you're changing buildings or leadership, a lot of things can bring discomfort to you and to your team members as well. So today we're going to talk about 3 essential pieces to effectively communicate these changes. And we're going to start with the first one, that is embrace change and also own the message.
Yeah. So the way that you accept change is probably going to be the way that your team accepts change. So you may get this message that you're returning to the office, or that there's going to be a change in a process, and you might initially think, that's a bummer. I really don't like that. I don't want to have to tell my team this. This is going to really suck. So the way that you communicate to your team means everything. If you go in with that mentality of, I don't want this to happen, but this is what's happening and we just have to deal with it, your team is going to be so not bought in to this whole change. But if you go in and say, listen, this is what's happening. This is the why behind what's happening. Let's get behind this and make the most out of it. You don't have to be super happy about it, but you have to try and be positive and really own the message.
Yes, and we're going to do it together. And I love that you mentioned that we don't have to be happy about it, because we need to be our authentic selves.
Yes.
And they're going to know that you're coming here to this meeting and you're kind of like acting and pretending that you're happy about it.
This is a great, awesome, cool thing that's happening.
Yes, no.
They're going to be like, no, it's
they're
not.
They're going to know. They know you. They know you. And they know that is a big change and it's going to be hard for you as well. But having that positive mindset really set the tone for everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yes. So the second one is asking even your leader to share with you some best practices about how to communicate this change, but also understanding why this is happening and the benefits that are going to bring to not just the company, but also the team. They might have more insights. For sure, they have the big picture, they have more information, and it's good for you to have that information as well. So you have more answers for your team.
Yeah. And again, that's why it's so important to get that information from your leader and understand the why, because you are going to be answering so many questions when you communicate this with your team. But that also kind of leads us to think back to those influencers that you have on your team. We talked about them, I believe it was in episode 5. And when you lean on your challenger, that person who's going to kind of challenge the why more often, challenge the processes, ask a lot of like, why are we doing it this way? And that person's not necessarily negative, they're just very curious and inquisitive. That's going to be a great person to kind of lean on, and maybe you tell them this message first, and that way you can kind of anticipate what questions you can expect from the rest of the team, because you know that person's already going to come in and be like, why is that change happening, or what's going to happen to this process, or whatever the questions may be. It'll be a great way for you to kind of practice and overcome that. But if you're introducing something on your team, or there's a change that's happening that, like, let's say AI is huge, that's going to be coming into most, if not all, workplaces that's in some capacity. Let's say that there's an AI process that's coming on your team, and maybe it's going to replace a role, or it's going to replace a task, and you have to communicate that. Maybe there's someone on your team that loves AI. They're super bought into it. They're really curious about it. They want to keep learning about it. Lean on that person to help you own the message too. Like, they can be a huge advocate for, this is going to be a great change. This is going to be really cool. This is going to be very beneficial to us. So you don't have to be the only one that's owning the message. And at that point too, you already have some team members that are bought in to the message before you kind of spread it out to the rest of the team.
And with change, it comes fear as well. So understanding that the same way that you're feeling, they're going to be feeling even more, and because their jobs are going to change, their situations are going to change. So kind of like creating that safe space for everybody to come with questions. Let them know that you need each other. You need them as much as they need you as well, and you are going to be together through this process, not just themselves on their own. You all are on this change, and you all are gonna overcome that change
together. Yes. And when we're communicating this change as leaders, just keep in mind you don't have to go through it and do it yourself. Remember that the way that you receive this information is probably how your team's going to receive it as well. So be able to own that message in a positive light. You don't have to be happy about it, but just be positive. Lean on your resources. Lean on your leader for best practices on how to deliver, understand the why better, and lean on your team members, the people who you know are going to be able to anticipate those questions, and the people that you think will be really good advocates or experts in that area too. So share this video with anyone that you know of that's going through a change, maybe at work, maybe you're anticipating a change yourself, but let us know any best practices that you might have for change management and maybe even owning the message in the comments below. And of course, always be sure to subscribe so you can continue getting more content from us here at the LeadHer Lounge.
See you next week, leaders.